If you die today, what happens? Let's talk about it. Run the intro.
Would you rather have your partner cheat on you in front of the entire world or in private?
Like me, your niece Sachimani in the summer, we're gonna have beef.
I don't like sweat.
And then it dies of starvation. What now?
Don't play. I saw the Instagram.
I'm a winner at life.
Because we don't want to spoil the movie. Who's gonna want to watch it?
What's the climax? Like, what
There's
you
no
doing?
point. Like, girl, you want to taste the juices, the meats.
That's all it is critical thinking, honestly.
So what happens after you die, right? People are they're sensitive to this topic, same way they're sensitive to, get life insurance, or get life insurance for their
What?
or like get life insurance for like
I see what you're
their
saying,
mom or something. They just don't want to.
And
They
like
don't
writing
wanna-
wills.
Yeah, they don't
Like,
want
the time is coming.
Yeah. They feel like you're speaking it into existence when you do that.
Yeah.
Right. And people are very sensitive about this conversation, which is exactly why we should have it. So, what do you guys think? What happens after you die?
There's a lot. There's a lot. Like,
Now, answer this you personally. You personally. Not what other people think. You.
me,
Yeah.
I want to think
There we
there's
go.
reincarnation. Like, I want to think like you're reborn in a different type of time with somewhat of like your past like drive or something like that. You get me? Like you're not born, if you like moved up in life, you're born into like something, with better circumstances like that. And that's like everybody gets a cycle of each aspect of life.
What is that? Steven, do you know what religion that is? That's like Is that Buddhism or is that Hindu?
Wait, reincarnation?
It's like reincarnation, and if you did good in this life, then you get a better you get born into like a better life, like with more wealth, or you find love in that life, like you get better things.
That's kind of dope. Yeah, I don't know.
I think
We'll call it Jainism.
okay,
like that.
Johnism.
Okay.
Johnism. Okay, that's cool. How about you, Steve? How about you?
I grew up really religious and believing that like the afterlife was also. Quick side note: growing up, my grandma told me that I asked her what heaven was, right? And this is probably the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Like as an adult, is that like you sit obviously in the clouds or whatever the fuck heaven is, and it's just you with God the entire time. And I'm like, I told her, dead ass told her, I was like, that sounds boring. Like no PlayStation. Like the fuck I want to do that for? And she was like, yeah, but like being so close to God, you feel like this tremendous amount of like love and happiness. And I'm like, for all eternity, you want me to do that? She's like, yeah, forever. And I was like, no, I don't want that. Like I was a kid, but
Yeah.
I recently have questioned religion, right? A lot of the things I do are a lot more methodical or thought out or scientific based. So, I stopped really believing too much in that stuff and never actually sat down, and I don't believe that like nothing happens after, right? Like the scientific fact is that nothing happens after. But I don't believe that, because even in science itself, even though like we can't directly see energy between two people, right? Like you can feel sexual tension, for example, between two people. Like I could just be standing there watching and I can feel the tension between two people, but I can't actually see it or study it, right?
Or measure it.
Or even measure it. Yeah. So like that goes against science, but also like we know it's there. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think consciousness just ceases to exist, but I think that something, I just don't know what, happens. I feel like if I was around more dead people,
So what
as
do
they
you
were
believe
dying,
in?
I've never sat down and like thought about it, but if I had to pick what I want, you know what I'm saying? I would pick like rebirth or something. I think it'd be cool to, I don't want to be a tree, but like trees live forever, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like it would be cool to be like a bird, you know what I'm saying? Get to try to be a bird. But
You
it's
a
like,
bird. You a bird now.
there's not many animals that aren't prey. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be a fucking seagull and die to a fucking shark or a hawk. You know what I
But
mean?
you know what's
But
the
you by the
what's
bay.
the what was that,
What?
John?
Seagulls be by the bay, they be chilling. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I
true.
mean, yeah.
and
but
they eat all the chips from the
chips.
beach.
Free.
¿Qué
They
le dio para
eat
un-
bread.
Yo
You
parezco un
want bread right
perro.
now? What?
So you parezco un perro, just eating chips off with sand on it too. Damn, bro.
Yeah. I think you know what's interesting though, whether it's reincarnation or I guess I'll stay there. Any different forms of reincarnation, it still feels final because you don't remember anything that happened before. So if you
Yeah.
think about you right now, let's say you have been reincarnated, you don't remember anything about your past life.
Well, I got a question for you. Right? You gave me this. It was remember I lived in Pennsylvania, and you came up with this idea, or you read about it or something, and you were like that everyone is living. We're all one person, and this has always stuck with me. We're all one person who have to go through every single experience possible in order for all of us to become God, right? So then, hypothetically, if all of us are going through a different experience, what happens when we die, right? Because we don't get reincarnated because we're all. I guess it's one plane, right? And we're all going through different experiences. Like
Yeah.
technically, according to this theory, 1800s and the 3050 is all happening at the same time,
Yeah,
right?
time is not linear. Time is
So
all at once.
Yeah.
So like even scientists right now came out with I don't know if it was like I'm not sure if I'm correct, but there was a study that said not study that just like scientists came to the conclusion that it was like something else had to happen for the universe to come together. Because if the planet was 1 inch closer to the sun, we're completely burned. 1 inch before it will completely freeze. Like everything was played perfectly
Yeah.
for it to be a fully functional. So they'd be like, there has to be something else there. You get me? Like
Mhm.
literally
The
almost impossible.
Now, what do I believe happens when you die? I think this is a tough question for me because if I'm being honest, like I have no idea, right? I think all of us have no idea, really, unless you're like 100% believer in your faith. Then some people are like that, like oh yeah, I know it, but I can't lie and say that I know it because
That's
that's
crazy.
like I don't know it, and I'm jealous of those people that are like 100% in. And they're like, oh yeah, like I know it. This is what's happening because it takes away that weight, right? Or that worry takes it away. And if I'm being honest or candid or vulnerable, I think I've struggled with the thought of death for a long time since I was a kid, bro. Like honestly, since I was a baby, um, I would, how kids would go into their mom's room in the middle of the night and just sleep in their bed. I would go into my mom's room like crying, like, "Oh, I don't want to die," and then I'd be crying in my mom's bed. My mom would be like, "You're not gonna die." And I think that made it worse. Her telling me like, "You're not gonna die. You're never gonna die," and that made it worse because I knew she was lying.
Okay.
It made it worse. So like, because that just to me, I think what that did was, oh, you don't know. You don't know what happens. You're telling me that. You're just lying to me. Like you don't know what happens. And I don't know what it was. Maybe something I saw on TV, but that really like stuck with me. And then that's been like a problem for me ever since. That's just me, a little vulnerable.
I
Nah,
don't. I
I
don't.
feel it. I feel it. It's just I spoke about it before. But like you start realizing like people can't even judge other people on their religion and stuff like that. Because like most of the time you fall into the religion you're born into, right? So that's why you start believing. So if like it just so happens that you were born into this religion, but you were born into somebody else's religion, you would be believing their religion. You feel me? So that's why you got to be
Yeah.
compassionate with everybody else, because this is just your condition. You feel me? So I just don't understand the concept of like hate on other people's stuff and all that stuff, because it's like you know,
I
and
don't.
that's basically the egg theory.
I don't fear death. Because for the simple reason that it is inevitable. Like
Mhm.
I fear a car crash because I could avoid it. You know what I mean? But I can't avoid death. Like it's gonna happen. You
Yeah.
get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um.
So do you believe you like your time is like you already your death is already written
No,
type of thing?
I don't think anybody's death is written. I think because if I wanted to, I could kill myself right now and I could write my own time. You get what I'm saying? Like,
But you're not, and maybe that's what's written is that you
Yeah.
won't.
okay, so if you believe that your time is written and I go and I take your life, then your time isn't actually written. I just wrote
Without
it.
that, no, it was written for you to take it.
Yeah.
I
That's the
mean,
argument to that.
yeah, you sound like you're fucking a religious person trying to argue with me about the Bible. Like, I
Yeah.
get it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't think everyone's time is written. I think you can do things to elongate your life, etc.
Mhm.
But anyway, I don't fear death. And I think just understanding that it is inevitable helps me at least. So like I was going to nursing school and I was like, yo, like if I died while going to nursing school, would I be happy that I died? Not happy that I died, but like would I be happy with the life I lived? And then
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta at least do one thing on my bucket list if I'm going to just stick to nursing school, you know, all because there's no breaks. So all 3 fucking years of nursing school with my head in the books. Well, I got to do something that makes me okay with dying in those 3 years. So that's why I decided to go to Tokyo. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. And then if I die after that, I'm okay with it. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. Hopefully I don't. You know what I'm saying? I would hate to go to school for 2.5 years and die, you know, while right before I finish. You know what I mean? But that's my
I think
ideology is just
I think that
acknowledge it.
brings up a very interesting question. Because right now you wouldn't be content because you haven't done that trip you wanted to do. You
Yeah.
haven't, and this is not on you. This is to everybody listening now. Like, you didn't take that trip you always wanted to take. You didn't tell that person this thing you wanted to tell them, right? Like you're arguing with somebody that you actually love, and God forbid did that they die, you haven't told them that thing. So it's always like those things that will make you content with going. um so like right now, today, I know this is a tough question, but would you be content with the life you lived so far if you were gone tomorrow?
No, I
Well,
wouldn't.
I think it's trickier for John though because
Yeah, I
John
can't.
has children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm like, hey, fuck it, I'll die. Shit, cool, whatever. Like put me out my misery. But
Don't get me
Well,
wrong. If I'm able to save my son in a life sentence, you feel me, situation, and I'll save him, then my life is very content because I used to for a purpose. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But besides that, like I rather.
I think I think if we take our emotion and ego a little bit to the side and think about, like, okay, well, if we're going to tomorrow, we're going tomorrow. There's nothing we can do about it. But the life that we lived until up until, did you leave a good impression on everybody
So
that
so
comes
okay.
around you?
This is concept that I also heard that heaven and earth is decided by the people that you leave behind and the idea you left of them. So if you left a lot of bad karma out there, you go to hell. And if you go do really good and people think really good of you, you go to heaven.
So I heard that before, and I really like that theory. But what I didn't hear, the version I heard was a little different. Was that after you die, nothing happens, right? To you, you just die, nothing happens. And
Yeah.
what's heaven is hell is the memories that you leave behind. So like, if people didn't like you, then that's the hell. It's just that people didn't like you, and people are not
Yeah.
gonna remember you. Like, that's the hell.
That's tough.
Not
but why
physically that you're there, but that's the hell.
but why would it
And then
matter?
to you, who just in worms right now, maybe
So like
maybe
maybe
not.
maybe your loved ones have to deal with the fact that everybody talks down on your name for the rest of your life. You feel me? That's an embarrassing concept. You know what I mean? Like your son gets bullied in school because you were a murderer or something, and they
Yeah,
call
yeah,
him
but
Little Mario Junior. Like you know what I'm saying?
but to someone who no longer has consciousness or a conscious because they're dead, right? Because you can even be alive and have zero conscious.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't even affect somebody who's alive with zero conscious. Like, oh, you think bad about me? They don't care,
Yeah,
right? Like,
I'm
I,
sorry.
I
I'm sorry.
how is that hell?
I think if you have emotions and you care a little bit, then it'll be like
But
heaven or
if
hell.
you had emotions, why wouldn't you? It doesn't really make add up. Like, why would you act in such a way? Oh, okay, well maybe you're posing. I guess that would make sense, right? Like, you're acting like you don't have emotions, but deep down, like the things you're doing to hurt other people is to mask,
Yeah,
that
or
you're
like
hurt. That you're hurt. Okay,
people have self defense mechanisms, right? Things that
coping.
they do, coping mechanisms. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. There's people do that thing. Push people away, even though they don't want to, just because that's the way they cope. That's the way.
They're afraid to get hurt themselves.
So they push people away, and maybe and deep down, that's not what they want, but that's how they're acting. So it's
Okay,
those people, oh, I wouldn't want them to remember me a certain way. Um,
but
but like,
serial killers aren't going to experience any type of hell
yeah,
in your in your story here.
yeah.
You saw
Um,
you saw that new law that came out. That rapists get. I think it's in Florida or Texas.
Yeah,
Florida, I saw that.
that rapists get to the chair if
No,
they get caught, something like that.
it's only for minors. Anyone 12 and under gets the chair.
Yeah, but it's like you have the opportunity. It's like the is that you either get the chair or it's life. Like they can do you. I
Yeah.
think it's like you get life for sure, but they can also the chair is now like part of that. Like they can push that. They can push you to the chair for that.
Oh, that's crazy.
Respect.
It's just
We
another
can get into
state
that,
with.
but like
They
Oh,
need to
God.
do that all states.
in all states for sure. Um, what John said earlier was interesting because I think it's something that I feel when you were saying, you know, you're in a religion just because you were born in it. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you didn't really choose it most times. You were born
Yeah,
into it. And I think that's the case for most religions, right? You get born into it, you get baptized, whatever your version of that is.
and
And
don't get me wrong. There's always an exception of people that go into the religion and then
yeah,
they
they can
like
find
other
it.
religions as well, and they start following that religion instead. You
Like,
feel me?
they think for themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah. And what I think, this is actually something I think. So
No,
I
no
think,
offense. No, sorry, wait. No offense to anybody who's religious.
nah, you said it. You said it. It's there.
yeah. That's
I
please,
realized. I
please
realized
make
after I
it
said it, I
clear.
was like, wait, that might offend people. But
um I think there is like a higher being, and I think every religion, like it doesn't matter which one you pick, is just a vehicle to that.
yeah,
You know, it's just a vehicle towards that. So
Yeah,
whether you believe in this, whether you believe in that, it's trying to connect you to whatever that higher being is, and get you through this life. So that's why like what John was saying, like, you can't judge anyone who's in any religion or anything, because they just found that vehicle. You know, you drive a Honda, they
yeah,
drive a Toyota, they're just trying to get to that destination, being
yeah.
the best person that they can be.
100%, 100%. I
I mean,
like that.
you have to believe in something. You can't. I mean, there are people who believe in nothing. One second.
And those people that don't believe in anything, that's like, I think that's a scarier life to live. You don't believe anything, you know? Like
But like
t-
I but like okay, but like there's a opposite to that, in that like you could be safe in that. You know what I'm saying? Like not believing in like the afterlife, not believing in like the extras, and just
mm,
like going
I don't,
straight with life and living your own thing. You know what I'm
you,
saying? Like
you have to think very small to. I don't want to offend anyone, but this is my belief. You have to think very small, right, or not care about anything in order to believe that there's no higher power, right? Because even science can't answer every question there is. Like we mentioned earlier, the Earth is so perfectly fucking located. Someone put it there. You get what I'm
well,
saying? Like even myself, I'm not super religious, but I have to. Science can't answer that. I have to agree that someone probably put it there. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not, if you sit down and you just not thinking about, I guess if you're thinking about nothing the entire day, then yeah, you can believe in nothing because you're not really fucking using your brain at all. But if you're sitting down thinking about just anything, any theory or anything, they can't all be answered.
yeah. I
And that's how
think
religion was created, is to find answers for things that don't have answers.
I just got an interesting thought. So this conversation sprung with like what happens after you die, right? That's where the conversation started. And it led us into religious talks, right?
Yes.
mhm.
Um why why is it always what happens when you die, then religion comes up? Like why isn't religion mostly brought up for like just your life? I don't know if I'm wording this correctly. Like the main concern is what happens after I die for like religion aspect. I don't think the biggest focus or the biggest driving force is like what's happening right now.
Because I think it's religion.
Do you,
Okay,
you
again, my
understand?
own.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. I think, in my own personal opinion, as always, I think religion is used to control people, right? So if you can give people an idea of what happens after life, you can either use it A, to fear them, aka hell, or B, to persuade them, aka heaven, in order to follow your group or your message, etc. So that's why I feel like life, or afterlife, is the main focus, is because it's either the reward or the punishment, right? And then what you do on earth is the rules they want you to follow, and then afterlife is your reward or your punishment, in my opinion.
Okay, I receive that. And to put like a positive switch to a flip to that. Some people, how to say, like people who follow religion and follow this like this rule set are I don't say better off, but like some people need that guidance, right? Like some people need like how do I say this? Like some people need to have those rule sets and those rules to follow to make them the best person that they can be, right? So there's some
Yeah,
great
like it's just like no. Everybody needs that. It's just you put in different aspects. You feel me? You could call it guidance. You could call it advice. You could call it. Those are all just little
it's your
steps to
vehicle.
guide you to where we're gonna think. When you learning math, when you're learning anything, those are your little guide steps, your ladder to where you want to become. So that is everything. You feel me?
I think at the root of this is just find your vehicle and get there.
Yeah.
You know, as corny as it may sound, just like
Now that
find
was fly. That was like some movie shit. That was fly. That
I
was
hope
fly.
just
I hope
find
mine's a Rolls Royce.
just find what it is that gets you there. Some people, all they need is meditation, yoga, and that connects them to whatever higher being or the best version of themselves, right? That connects them, that grounds them. You know, other people, you know, they need to go to a church and have that structure. You know, other people, their home is the church, and like they, you know, saying just you gotta find what is it that's gonna censor you and get you through
But
life.
what about people who don't care about the afterlife?
People that don't care about the afterlife, like is it like people that don't believe or people that truly don't care? So I don't people that don't care about it, like I don't think there's people that don't care about it.
No. There's people that don't, you know what I'm saying? And that's like I'm saying, that's to them, like, oh no. So I'm speaking as somebody outside the circle, and I feel like there's benefits to it, like, you feel me? Because like you just live life as right now, you know what I'm saying? Like you
You're in
don't,
the moment.
yeah, like, you know what I mean? So
Well,
it's a lot of benefits to that.
what I was trying to say, right, is that we're having a discussion of like the afterlife, and there's a lot of people who don't believe that there anything happens in the afterlife. But the most important thing that they can do is the legacy that they leave behind, right? The amount of money they have, the amount of
Yeah.
kids they have, etc. What about those people? Like, there's no vehicle for them to get there. Well, technically there is, I guess, just being rich.
No, but
No,
it's
no.
simple.
What
It's
you
simple. It's
said,
simple. It's either you
what
get
Steven
on
just
or
said.
you don't. It's that
No,
simple.
what Steven just said, like you said, their motivation was to get as much money or everything they can for their kids. Like their vehicle is to provide
The
for their
kids.
family
Yeah.
and leave a better example for their family. So
So
in going through that vehicle, you got to try to be the best person you can for your kids, but the best
so
role
per,
model you can for your kids. So within that, you already have parameters of what you can do, what you shouldn't do. Like you already have that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but perfect example is like that show I was telling you, and it's basically a show between gods and humans. And when it comes to like, you become a god in the show by believing. So if a certain amount of people believe in you, you become like the internet became a god because so many people believed in it. You get me? Like things like that in all aspects. So it showed there was like this party now in the show, and it showed Jesus. But then there was a Mexican Jesus, a Chinese Jesus, a black Jesus, like a green Jesus, just to give you an example. Like it was just so many of them. It just like it gives you an example. Like everybody has so many different beliefs. It's just like it's still a belief. You get me? Like so.
Yeah, yeah. But your belief is real. You know,
Yeah,
whatever it is, if you believe it is real. That's true. I think that's true for a lot of things. If you believe it is real, that's part of manifesting.
yeah. That's
That's
your
part
thing.
of
You feel me? If your Jesus got tattoos, that's how you believe in him. That's your belief. You feel me? We're nobody to tell you otherwise. You feel me?
and I think part of growing up is not trying to argue somebody about their belief. Cause like you're losing that. Like you're trying to
Yeah.
argue with somebody about something they believe in.
Yeah.
Like you
That's
because
manipulative
some
as hell.
because sometimes someone's belief, whatever it is, it's tied to their identity. So when you
Yeah.
start questioning their belief, you're really questioning them and who they are, and that gets you into that. he
No,
did
because
great.
I believe it could start in like some innocent stuff, like you trying to teach them your belief, your ways to see if, like your ways can help them even improve better than them, and it just like it gets to the point that you cross the line into like trying to force them, like yo, you get me? So just to watch
Um,
out for stuff like that.
and there's no better way to push somebody away than forcing them into something.
So
That's just a truth all around.
thanks.
Um,
I had a quick. Sorry, I had to
hmm?
do like some quick. I don't know why I did this, but talking about Jesus, I wondered like what would Jesus actually look like if if he was actually not white, and imaginary, but how does he have such good fucking hair? Like, how do white people think this guy has such good fucking hair? What? Because I called him imaginary.
Yeah, you just shitted on you just shitted on like how about, I don't even know,
Let's
300 billion people. You just
listen,
shitted on.
listen. If somebody said they believe in like a black Jesus,
It's only 7 million people.
maybe he's less imaginary. But the
Oh no,
picture of
I
Jesus
know what you're saying. The visual representation is not.
accurate at all. That motherfucker has some good ass hair. You tell me he got that nice ass hair in the desert like that,
Yeah. That is true. That is
bro?
true. There's like,
Most girls today won't go outside if it's too hot because they're gonna be like, nah, it's gonna fuck up my hair. I just did this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you tell me he walking around like that in the middle
yeah,
of fucking Jordan, Bethlehem.
yeah.
That was
And
that was
and if
that was
he's
the grace of him.
and if he's fair skinned, then why isn't his depiction just red as hell and sunburnt? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He should be sunburned. He should be red,
I'm
right?
gonna have to agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I can understand
Yeah.
like people today being light skinned in like those countries because we have buildings you can be inside, but I don't know how many buildings there was when Jesus moved the
Yeah.
giant boulder.
um, with that being said, with that
Yo,
being
side
said,
note, just like I heard, nah, it wasn't me. They said that Jesus was black because they weren't hanging and putting no white dudes in chains back then. So you know what I'm saying?
understand that.
That could be.
Understand that for me.
Wait,
Yeah,
no, that's valid. That's valid. That's valid. That's a valid thought. That's a valid
Um,
thought.
I
Also,
wanted to.
how he moved that big ass rock. Sorry, I got a
Oh,
lot of
Big Rock.
questions.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When he died, 3 days later, he resurrected in his tomb and he moved a big ass rock.
Oh,
Listen,
you
that's
I
a
looked.
man, my boy.
is that
I
hold
looked at the
on.
pictures. I looked at the pictures.
Is that what you're questioning? Not that he came back to life. Like, is how did he move the rock?
Maybe they knew about CPR technology back then. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe they knew about that,
Yeah,
and they've been
bro
doing
came back.
this. Hey, listen, we don't know. Maybe they got the time wrong. Maybe he came back the same day, 3 hours later. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
possible. That's
Right?
possible.
That's possible. They could have done a little CPR. I don't know if they knew about it, but if they did, it's possible now. You get what I'm saying? He got up with crushed ribs and everything. How did he move that big ass rock?
It's an athlete, bro.
Come on,
And where
man.
did he go after? Because he died. He got up and he physically moved the rock. Where he went?
I think if I was me, the first thing I would want is to go get like a McDonald's Sprite, maybe. Because they'd probably be mad thirsty. You probably need to be
Bro,
refreshed.
that shit gonna zap you back up.
It's gonna hit, right?
It's gonna hit.
It's gonna hit. So maybe that's what happened. He got a McDonald's Sprite and just looking, oh, we back, baby.
I gotta go to heaven. The boys is calling.
Word. Um, speaking of boys, pause. Uh, I was thinking, do you think like being a player or like a womanizer is something that's passed down from like your father? I think it's like a genetic thing, like a trait.
No,
Wait. So you're mentioning two different things here, and I want to clarify. A trait being like genetically in my DNA, or something I'm taught. Right? Like, let's say my parents don't teach me this, but because my father did this, it's in my DNA. Like, I
For like I think they might go hand in hand because I don't know the answer. Like, do you think it's passed down, whether it's through DNA or whether it's through
well,
observation?
that's another that's well, this is another topic, but that brings the question of nature versus nurture, right? Do I learn the things I know because of I was taught that, or because it's in my blood, right? So
Yeah.
let's eliminate that question, and I need you to answer: is it because I was taught this, or is it because it's in my DNA?
because we know. You ever heard of this? We've heard of this before. This scenario where it's like the kid never met his father, and then starts doing things like the father, and the mom was like, "Oh, you're just like your dad," but the kid never met the dad, but he's
Yeah.
behaving in a way that the dad behaved.
I mean, that could also just be a projection because she's upset.
Okay, well, let's stay and let's stay here. Like, do you think that's passed down? Do you think you can pass that down, like a characteristic like that?
Yeah, I think so. Because there's things that my son does that I did.
I
You know what I'm
think
saying?
I think feelings can be passed down, but I don't think a trait like being a player is passed down.
Wait,
I
Not
wait.
think
not
like for
not not
example,
gen-
like
not
for
genetically.
example, right? My son when he was a kid, he used to see me screaming into my screen because I was playing the game and I was pissing me off, right? So one day he got the controller and he started screaming at the screen because that's what I was doing.
He wasn't even playing. He's just like, oh, I'm just
Yeah, he
gonna.
wasn't even playing. He was just screaming at the TV.
Because like that shit
You
looks
get
fun.
me? So like I think like there is something there in the sense like whatever they see or hear, maybe they just
Well,
it's in them.
that would be nurture. That would be nurture, right? The things that he's learning based on his environment, not things that he learned because it's in his blood. You get what
No,
I'm
and it's like in things like for example, if you and your father you're watching a movie and in the movie there's this guy cheating that has mad girls and your father's like, you see that? You know what I mean? That's what we do. You know, back in the day your father was something like that, you know what I mean? Like and that's like you start idolizing that as you grow up. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Don't have to be like your father has to actually sit there and cheat on your mom. It's why he idolizes it, you know what I'm saying? So it's whatever he teaches you.
Mm.
If your father teaches you that you only want one woman in your life and you see happiness within one woman, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you might indulge yourself in um, womanizing a little bit in the sense just because your environment as boys it leads you to that. Because at the end of the day, the more girls you get, the more of a man you are as you're growing up as a teenager. That's how teenagers think. You get me? So that affects you. But at the end of the day, in your system, you know that there's one girl out there because that's what your mom and your dad showed you. You know what I mean?
Mm. So I think John is talking about a combination of both nature and nurture.
Yeah, yeah. I was wondering, for your topic or question here, which other two are you asking me? Do I believe in? Because I personally believe that
I
obviously
just gave you an example of there's a mixture of both. So just like answer the question.
No, no, he was about to. What do you believe in?
I believe that it's more nurture. You can't genetically pass down being a womanizer or stuff like that. I think you can pass down emotions, right? Like you can pass down anger issues. You can pass down, being someone who's sensitive, and then you can nurture someone to like change that. But I think babies at an early age they display
But
what.
being a womanizer just is disloyalty, and you could pass that down. That's an
I was
emotion.
I was gonna say I challenge your emotion. Uh, I challenge that what you're saying about emotions being passed down, but not being a womanizer, because at the base of that is maybe the emotion is joy or lust or whatever that
What if
emotion
you're
is.
okay? And here's why it doesn't work. What if you're gay?
You can fuck mad dudes, bro.
Yeah,
That wouldn't make you a womanizer.
Well, when a womanizer in the
yeah,
sense,
womanizer.
not exactly like just
Oh,
women,
wait, 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 what, John?
just what he
A,
said,
a menizer?
a
Yeah,
womanizer,
womanizer.
a
Motherfucker, you mean
womanizer.
a menace at this point? But
Yeah,
so wait, you were saying that womanizing or menizing?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Just I didn't mean to specifically target women. I just meant someone like that lives that lifestyle, which is multiple partners, just a player.
no, I don't think so because I think all of that comes from nurturing someone, right? Like, I think people are born knowing their sexuality, right? But
Mm.
uh, I don't think you start going after that until you start hitting like your later on, like your teenage years. Or I mean, at least for speaking for myself, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really care until like later on in my life. And I feel like you can see emotions from children as soon as they're born, right? you can see that like if you flick a child's foot, how much patience they have. You get what I'm
Okay,
saying?
let me ask you this. Um, so you're leaning towards what, like that is possible to hand down emotions or not?
Yeah, you can pass down emotions, but you can't pass down a specific trait like woman or manizing.
Okay.
That would be like I would just really laugh. That's like because like what if the person's asexual, right? Like they just don't give a fuck,
Well, how
right?
about
You
this? How
can
about
you
this?
can pass down asexuality, but they can't be a womanizer or a menizer if they don't want to fuck anything.
Can you pass down the trait of being an addict?
And yes,
So what's the difference between being an addict to alcohol and an addict to sex?
are we talking an actual sex addict?
Yeah, someone a sex addict who wants multiple
Well, I don't.
partners who can't stop being a like. I'm just tying that together. Like if the addiction can be a trait,
But you can be a sex
and
addict without being a womanizer. Like if women agree or men
wait, so
agree to have sex with you, you're not womanizing them. You're
Oh
literally
wait,
just
that's how
having.
that works. Wait, that's how that works.
what
Well,
If women agree to
well,
have
yeah.
sex
what
with you, you don't
that's
become a womanizer.
that's a false statement because you can lie to them and they agree
Yeah,
to it.
yes, that's what I meant. But I meant to say, like they're genuinely like, yeah, let's just fuck each other, right? If he, she, are like, yeah, let's just fuck each other, and you don't have to fucking genuinely lie to them and be like, oh, I'm really interested in you. In reality, you just want to fuck, like if you're fucking 15, then
I never
yes.
lie.
But that's I think is it splitting hairs? It's like the outcome is the same. However, you get there, like the addiction and the outcome is the same. How that middle road, I don't think ties into the conversation.
You lost me. I went down the road. You lost me.
Yeah, I think that part doesn't tie in because like if addiction can be passed down from me to my kid, right? Let's say the
Well,
addiction trait.
I think it depends on what kind of addiction. Like being addicted to sex is absolutely possible, but that doesn't make you a womanizer. It just makes you addicted to sex. It doesn't make you a manizer. It just makes you addicted to sex. That's not a trait you can pass down. You can't pass down being an asshole.
I guess maybe then uh I guess maybe that's the disconnect between what we're talking about because I don't necessarily believe you're an asshole. Like that's the part you're an asshole. Like when you're just someone whose lifestyle is um there's probably another word for it, but just whose
Well,
lifestyle is multiple people. You're not going to be married to one person. Like that's just not the way you want to behave. Or even if you are married to one person, like you got to have more partners. Like I'm talking about that kind of characteristic.
okay, yeah. So that doesn't make you an asshole if you want more partners. But the act of doing it, knowing that you're blatantly disrespecting someone, is the asshole part.
But that's just the road to get your fix. However you do that, whether you do that honestly or you lie to do it, it's just the road to get that fix. So when you're an addict, the road to get whatever your fix is, that doesn't and it's not for me to say that road is passed down. What's
Yeah, but
passed down is just the addiction piece.
I don't think an addict is going to work for one specific woman to try to, right? Like being a womanizer is picking a woman or man, a manizer, and blatantly lying and working, whether it takes
Okay,
months, to
that's
sleep with them.
okay. I think you're focused on the asshole piece. Take the word womanizer out. I think that's the part that's tripping us
Okay,
up.
okay,
Take that
so
word out. Someone who wants to be with multiple people, who doesn't want to be tied down,
okay, so
and even
someone
if they're
polygamous.
and even if they're tied down, like this is not what I believe or I want. I want more
So
people.
okay, so we're changing the question to can polygamy be something that's passed down through nature?
What's the word for someone who just wants multiple people? Just doesn't want to be tied down. What's the word to that? Like a player, like someone who just wants to be with multiple girls, like whether he's honest or not, like they just want to be with multiple girls.
Okay, so the word player.
Okay, player. Do you think that characteristic can be passed down?
I, I'm just gonna go with no for now. I haven't really given it any thought, but I'm gonna say no, right? Because I still think it depends on what your parents. You can change my mind. I'm really not stuck on it, but I haven't thought about it. But I still think that it's very much on like what John mentioned earlier, what you grew up seeing, right? What your parents teach you, right? Because your dad could be a player his whole life, and then he comes across your mom, and listen, he goes to church, he stops selling drugs, right? Where his player trait went. because natural traits do not disappear. My skin tone, my eye color, these are natural traits. They do not disappear. They don't change unless I get burned or some shit. But
that's a perfect segue into my next thought about this is like if addiction, right, is I believe the addiction can be passed down to your kid. I can believe it could be passed down. I think it's a
no, it
trait
it
that can be
it
passed
is
down.
it is.
So that addiction doesn't go away, just like energy doesn't disappear, it just transfers, right? Energy can't die, it just transfers. So a lot of addicts that you hear them talk, they'll say like, let's say alcoholic, I stopped drinking alcohol, but now I smoke mad cigarettes. I smoke a lot of cigarettes and drink coffee. Like that's the addiction transfer, like away from this, from alcoholism to like cigarettes. Or people can be addicted to like work. People can be addicted to going to the gym. Like there's addiction can form
Well,
because
I think you're
addiction
using the
can.
word addiction loosely,
I don't think
right?
I am. I don't think I am because I
You,
think addiction it doesn't have to be a negative word.
it is no. Addiction is a negative word.
But I'm saying
You're not
I'm saying it doesn't have to be. I think it could be unhealthy, right? You could be addicted to the gym and it'll be unhealthy.
the
But I
actual
think if
definition. The actual
but
definition of addiction is a negative tone.
okay, well, I guess so. Okay, so let me rephrase that.
So you
I
mean you
think
could say like
someone
someone
can transfer the addiction into something a little more healthy and manageable because addiction is not your that trait's not going to go away. So there's people that know like, oh, I don't want to try cocaine because I know how I am, and if I like something, I want to keep doing it. Like I have that addiction, I have that trait, so I know I don't want to get into that life.
there's a term for what you're like asking, not asking, but a term for what you're describing, and I apply. I fall into that category. It's someone who's like easily. I don't say addicted because addicted means that you instantly go to like you're masturbating so goddamn much that you're not even going to work anymore. You get what I'm saying? Like that's addiction, right? Addiction is automatically negative. But I think you're talking about someone who's like easily hooked. Someone and they'll only do it for like 7 months and then go do something else, right? Like I said this in one of the other podcasts, the in live one. I'll eat fucking Oreos for 7 months and then I'm done with it. And then I'm eating another snack for 7 months, right? Like someone who's easily hooked. Do I think? Are you asking if that's passed down?
Yeah, yeah, I don't believe that. I
I
think that
think
would
that
go.
I think that's
That's
something that
not
can be.
what the
I
fact
think
that you
that's
like Oreo so much, you're there for 7 months.
no,
That's
no.
crazy, Steven. Did you really do that?
Well, no. I ate like I don't know, like a couple Oreos a day. But like
Oh,
it's like my snack of choice. You get what I'm saying for that
okay, okay,
seven
okay.
months where it's like, oh, I only want Oreos or whatever the fuck. Anyway, do I think the trait of being easily hooked to things is passed down? I think yes. I think that is something you can definitely pass down.
And then my argument is just that thing that you're hooked to can be women, can be multiple people, can be like that. That thing can fall anywhere,
Well,
but the
no.
trait.
No, because you're putting something on the hook at that point, right? Do I think that I can easily be hooked to things? Yes, that specifically is a trait, right? Being able to be hooked to things, right? The things can vary, but that's going to depend on your your environment. But the fact that I can easily be hooked is a natural trait.
Okay. So you okay? So we agree on addiction can be passed down. We just
It's not
don't.
addiction.
Well, you said earlier addiction you believe it can be passed down.
Oh yeah.
So
Addiction.
I'm
No,
saying so I'm saying we agree on that. We agree that addiction can be pushed down. We just don't agree that it is to the same thing all the time. Like if your dad was
I guess
if your dad was addicted to alcohol, that doesn't necessarily mean you will be, but you do have the addiction trait, so you can be addicted to something else.
yeah, the addiction can be a trait, yes, or easily hooked. Because I don't think
Yeah.
addiction itself can be passed down unless it's an
Addiction,
actual
addiction,
addiction.
addiction adjacent, whatever that is.
Do I think the trait of being easily hooked can be passed down? Yes. The items that you, like I mentioned earlier, you put on these hooks can vary per person or even time, right? I don't think
Mm.
I don't think you can trait specifically pick an item to put on this hook and then pass it down to your children.
So the alcoholic father who fathers an alcoholic child, that was nurture, not
That's
nature.
nurture. That's
Or
environmental.
or
Yeah.
that was or it's both based on your argument because they already have the
It can be both.
addiction.
It
It's
can be
already the
not.
addiction there, but the
You keep
nurture
okay.
part
Stop
put
stop using
alcohol
the
in
word
it.
addiction. That's not
No,
how passing.
and
That's not how passing down addiction works,
no,
right?
in
Like
this
you.
scenario it is though, because we agree that addiction can be passed down. And this
Well, no,
scenario
no, no,
is
no,
an
no, no,
alcoholic
no, no.
father who passed
No, not
addiction
like
down.
that. You can't pass addiction down like that. The mother has to actively be addicted to something while pregnant in order to pass down an actual addiction.
Oh, okay. So you don't believe that at all then? You don't believe
No,
addiction can be passed down at all?
not the word addiction, but I do believe that the trait of being easily hooked to things is passed down. Yes.
Okay, I think in that we're splitting hairs a little bit, but because I think the mom could be a healthy, not do any substances, and the child can have that trait of addiction.
No, that's addiction isn't a trait.
I thought we agreed on that already. All right, anyways, all right, we'll move on. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree. Hopefully, everybody listening's head wasn't spinning during that.
Hey, listen, at the bare minimum, that shit got you thinking. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I couldn't say a word. I was like, what? I was just taken back. I was like, yo, they going off.
The entire time, John's just staring at the monitor like you can visibly see him like
Yeah,
processing
like
shit.
I was processing everything. I was like, because it was like contrasting each other back and forth. I'm like it got to the point that I was believing Steven, and then Chris would say something. I'm like, oh wait.
Well, that's good then. That's good then. Before we wrap this up, any quick things you've seen on the internet? You want to get a reaction to real quick?
The Dolphins are up 34-10 on the Giants.
Salute. Dolphins been looking crazy this year.
So wait, you just watch the Giants games to hate?
I just watched football.
Okay.
Yeah, what else happened on the internet this week?
I forgot this guy's name. Let me check it out real quick. Ariana Grande's ex-husband, Dalton Gomez, Ariana Grande.
Pause.
Okay.
Pronunciation police. John, pull over. Pull over.
Ariana Grande.
Whoa. Bro, where?
What's going on?
Listen. I'm pause.
Is it me? Why is it so hot in here? Why am I sweating?
Wait. No, not pause. Like this is like a pause, like a Cameron pause. Where are you getting the D from in Ariana Grande?
Hey, let's go with you. Why are you reaching?
Who's reaching? You literally said Arianda.
Because I'm putting Grande. Because the thing is, I wrote it Ariana Grande for some reason, and I keep reading Grande.
Sir, license or registration, please.
I'm back. Whew.
All right,
Ariana
sir.
Grande.
Now you were saying that I'm gonna give you one chance. You know what I'm saying? Who are you referring to?
Ariana Grande.
That passes.
Okay. I'm gonna leave you off with a warning.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying, please make it home safe. Go ahead.
Thank you.
No,
Ariana Grande had to pay Dalton Gomez $1.2 million in marriage settlement. So City Boys up.
I didn't even know.
How long were they married? I don't know. Maybe like a year, maybe 2.
A year for a 1.3? I'll take it.
I'll do jail for that.
I'll take it. You said City Boys up, John?
Yeah.
Producer just told us 2 years. They're together for 2 years.
2 years? That's not bad.
I don't know if I do 2 years for a mil. That's
but 2 years in a relationship is like jail for you, Steven?
No. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing that out there.
Nah, me too.
I like that.
Just throwing that out there.
Wait, you said
wild.
me too?
Me too. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Salute. I appreciate that. Give my boy 1.2 mil. She didn't get nothing.
No.
She paid him like alimony, separation, whatever.
Yeah. She gotta pay him the money.
I think that's crazy. Like, I understand why it's done, but I think that's crazy.
What you mean?
I gotta pay to break up with somebody? Are you crazy?
Hey, listen, like I believe in just because sometimes we invest our time into our partner's relationship so we could both be successful, maybe. You know what I'm saying? That could be the case.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I pay you back for that.
No, it does, because now that I helped you build something together, you know what I'm saying?
Ariana Grande already had that.
when we
Let me
break apart, this is
yeah,
still
Ariana.
part of me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I should get a cut of that.
Yeah, it's tricky
Wait,
when
wait, wait,
it's
wait,
tricky
wait,
with
wait.
Ariana. I'm gonna speak to your emotion right now, Steven. It's tricky with Ariana because she was already established when she got married to this guy.
Yeah.
So whatever she has going on was built already before this guy came in. So why does he now leave with, not a lot of money, but still like 1 point something million dollars? Why does he not leave with that?
Also, if at any point you feel like what this person is growing is part of an investment, they are not your lover. They're your business.
Well, there could be both.
Yeah,
Like,
like yeah,
like,
I invest into my lover so she could succeed and become better. You know what I'm saying? That's
Now, for
my
yeah,
example,
but
business
you do
partner.
that. But you do that because you love her, not because of a business aspect.
Nah, hell
yeah.
no. What you
So
mean,
now,
bro? That's bad business. You invest in your wife and she a bad dancer for what?
no, this scenario right here. John gets married to the love of his life, right?
John's getting married.
Yeah, John's getting married to the love of his life, right? The love of his life says, John, I believe in you. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay home with our children and I'm gonna hold it down so you don't even have to worry about the house. You don't have to worry about the house. You go out there and chase it. I'll hold everything down here. When you get home, everything's good. Food is made, like bed is made. Everything's. You don't have to worry about nothing over here. You come home, you sleep, you eat, we hang out, you be with your family. Then you can leave and chase that dream. The dream you were chasing, you made it, right? You made it there. You accomplished this. Your business is worth $10 billion. You think your wife is not entitled to any of it?
No, I
Damn.
understand.
She
I understand. I understand the business aspect of it, right? But you invested in me because you love me, not because at the end you were expecting some kind of money in return.
well, she wasn't expecting to divorce you either.
Exactly.
But you had this freedom and you slept with 20 women because you have this
That's
addiction
different.
trait that passed down.
That's
And now we
different.
have to end this marriage. And now I gave my whole life to raise our kids and I don't have any money because that's what we were doing.
That's different.
And you
That's
want to give me
different.
nothing? That's wild.
If I'm the reason the marriage doesn't work, then yes, right.
I think
The
if
person
you're
needs
the
to
one
pay.
that pays, I think you're the one that messed up. I think that's how it works. Some shit like that.
Okay, if it's like that, then I can agree.
I said that I think that's how it works.
Oh no, if the stay-at-home partner cheats on the person out there chasing and grinding, that's tough, man. You're gonna get child support and that's it. That's gonna be tough.
Child support.
Yeah, if you got kids, you gotta get child support, regardless of what happened. Like, are you gonna take full custody of the kid with your $10 billion company to
Yeah, I
run?
got $10 billion. Somebody else can fucking run it.
All right, if you win that in today's justice system, if you win that and you get the kids from the mom, then cool,
I mean, I got enough money to have the best lawyer. I'm probably gonna win that.
maybe. And we can move on. Next internet stuff.
Uh, Doja Cat takes a picture with a
Neo
of a
Nazi.
Nazi comedian.
She doesn't
Comedian.
take a picture. She doesn't take a picture with him. She takes a selfie, but on her shirt.
Selfie on the shirt. Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't know what's going on. I think a lot of people do stuff like this to get in the tabloids to stir the pot up and get headlines. I don't understand what's the win here. Like, what are you gaining from this? The
It's
demon
bad
stuff,
money.
I understand. Is divisive. People are gonna have opinions, and you're just gonna make money. But with this, it's questioning your morals and what you believe. So like now, it's like, what is there to gain from this?
It's bad money. Good money.
Well, this wouldn't even make her money. I think she would lose money from something like this, right? Like demons, like Christian mentioned, she'll definitely make money. Like people are gonna be like, oh, let me see what it is. Let me see what it is, right? Because let's be real, Christians don't listen to fucking Doja Cat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But besides that, like I defended her demon stuff. I thought
yeah,
it was
yeah,
cool, it was artistic. Like I can't defend this
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
this is a more moral things that this person believes. Like
Yeah.
that's the part that I'm lost. Like what do you benefit from that? Same thing with
Yeah,
like when
when
Kanye does dumb shit like that. Like what do you have to gain from that?
yeah,
Those are the things that you can't defend,
Yeah.
and that's my 2 cents.
I have no idea. Like I literally, when John showed it to me yesterday, I was sat there, right, and I was like, why the fuck did she do this? And then I sent it to somebody, and I was like, explain to me why this was done. And I was like, I also cannot continue defending this person,
Oh, who
like
who who did you send it to?
Tiffany,
Salute.
Doja Cat, fucking queen.
True. John, what else do we have from the internet? Is that it? Is that all we have?
And that is everything from the internet stuff this week.
Okay, cool. And that's the episode, folks. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yo, call that number, man. Call that
I'll
number.
put it
Tell
here.
the stories. I'ma act like I don't know your voices.
Don't be shy. Like, you wasn't shy when you was doing your horror stories. You know what I'm saying? When you was acting it out. Don't be shy now.
Yeah, let us
I'm
hear
gonna
it,
call
let
in.
us
I'm
hear
gonna
it.
say one on a couple of my shits. You know what I mean?